Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Chris Horner. This is stage 17 of the 25 Vuelta a España. Today's stage, it is the penultimate mountain stage of the 25 Vuelta a España. That means we have today and stage 20 left for the general classification riders to battle on mountain stages. We do have tomorrow's individual time trial of 27 kilometers left, so you have to keep that in mind if you're one of the GC favorites. But when the cameras come on with about 100 kilometers to go, we start looking at Visma-Lease bike at the front, drilling it with two riders on the front. Now, I can tell they're drilling it because the Peloton's a bit strung out, but we still don't see the time gap up to the Breakaway riders at this moment. Finally, the cameras will find the Breakaway riders. I'll call it 12 riders up there, and they're holding about a minute and 40-second gap on the Peloton behind. Now, when the cameras go back and look at the Peloton, you know they're going wicked fast. It's looking basically strung out back there. Two Visma-Lease bike guys drilling it on the front. And we look behind them, it's Bora Hansgrohe. Bora Hansgrohe, Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. That's Jai Hindley sitting fourth on the general classification. You can be sure when today's stage started, and you can be sure on stage 20 that Jai Hindley wants to move up in the podium position and try to jump over Tom Pidcock, the British rider from Q36.5. No doubt about it whatsoever. Jai Hindley is Giro d'Italia winner. He believes he should be up in that podium spot. Tom Pidcock's the up-and-coming rider for a Grand Tour. He's sitting third right now, so they want to hold it. There's no doubt about it. But when we look at the gap and it starts to drop immediately and they lose 20 seconds, but Visma-Lease bike's still on the front, well, remember, when I show you the profile of the stage and we're talking about 90 miles in length, 143 kilometers, that's a short stage. So when you go back and you look at Visma-Lease bike on the front, they're going full gas with two riders, Dylan Van Barley, Wilco Kelderman up there. There's two MO riders that have been riding throughout the whole weeks here of the Vuelta a España on the front for Visma-Lease bike that are down to 6 riders. Now, I told you guys on the rest day that Jonas Vingegaard doesn't have to do anything because he has a 48-second gap. You do not have to worry about winning stages. If you're Jonas Vingegaard, you got a 48-second gap on Almeida in second place, UAE team members. You don't have to worry about winning stages. You just have to worry about finishing on Almeida's wheel or trying to get some time bonuses or a little gap on them at the finish. Or if you're coming on a summit finish and you feel exceptional, if the right circumstances are there, you light everyone up. But do you put your guys on the front and drill it, even though it's a short stage at this moment? I wouldn't do it. I'd let the break go. I keep it easy peasy throughout the most of the stage and then just keep my legs as fresh as I possibly could. Because if everybody's legs are fresh and you're explosive, Almeida's not an explosive climber. Jonas Vingegaard normally is. But of course, I've told you guys many times, even before the Vuelta a España started, on the Butterfly Effect and Beyond the Coverage, that I don't believe Jonas Vingegaard has 2024 kind of fitness or 2023 kind of fitness. I think it's a little bit off this year in 2025 because we saw him go second at the Tour de France. And you go, hey, he went second at the Tour de France. But normally, you don't have riders like Lipovitz and so many other riders around Jonas Vingegaard at the Tour de France if he had his top form. And until we got here at the Vuelta a España where he won stages 2 and 9, we haven't really seen him winning throughout this 25 season with the exception of that individual time trial and the overall classification at Algarve, but that's a softer field. So the safe bet is to let the brake go up the road. I don't like what Visma-Lease bike's doing. Again, when we look at the profile, we got two climbs. We got a soft climb in the middle coming up with 75 kilometers to go. Then we have a Category 1 at the finish of today's stage that they rate at just under 9 kilometers and almost 10%. So if you're 9 kilometers at almost 10%, that's a wicked steep climb. And when you really look at this climb proper, let me describe it to you because it's super narrow. It comes in at about 17 kilometers to go, makes a left turn, hard left turn. Then it's narrow and crazy. They'll go through one town. They'll go through up a switchback section that's really steep. They'll go through the descent, and then they drop into another town that's super narrow. I don't even know how they got the cars past this narrow section. They must have made them go through it about a half mile an hour to make sure the roof rack's cleared, or they had a bypass for the cars. I don't know what they picked, but it was crazy. Come out of that super narrow technical, going uphill the whole time. They'll punch up all the way into about 10 kilometers to go, and then they get a little bit of rest. 8.8 kilometers to go, the climb starts proper. But I'm going to call this climb 17 kilometers because it is crazy and technical, and you got to have some good teammates to put you in good position. So we go back now deeper into the stage. We'll call it about 88 kilometers to go back from the finish of the stage. This is where we see Sepp Kuss getting a bike change. At this moment, his teammates are driving it on the front. They're going wicked fast. Sepp Kuss is going to come back on after a few kilometers, and then we're going to see the Peloton split in half. That's how fast these guys are going right now. So the 12 riders up front are doing okay pace, but when you look at that 12 rider group, there's none of the favorites. There's no Visma-Lease bike up there, no UAE Team Emirates. Even the Solarism is not up there. There's no Q36.5, Tom Pidcock's team, and there's no Bora Hansgrohe up there either. So you know everybody up there is going to get brought back. Don't spend too much time worried about the break. We come into about 75 kilometers ago. This is the first KOM climb on stage 17. Now, when they come into this and you look at the gap, still hovering about a minute and 50 seconds. These guys haven't gained any time. They've lost. They've put on a couple more seconds, but they haven't really gained time. Visma-Lease bikes on the front back there driving. We go up to the top of the KOM. Joel Nicolai there from Kyle Royale go through, grab maximum points. They got to drop down the descent. Now, as the Peloton's dropping down the descent with about 65 kilometers to go, you see some action there from the AG2R rider right next to Matteo Jorgensen from Visma-Lease bike. They're having a little bit of conversation. Now, I got to believe Sander here, Di Pastel, is having a conversation with Jorgensen from Visma-Lease bike because he wants to find out if these guys will slow down and maybe take a nature break. Jorgensen, to me, looks like he's telling them, no, we're not going to do it. We're going to stay on the gas. So Wilco Kelderman up there and Dylan Van Barley are still throwing down. All right, it's clear as crystal clear can be right now that this is going to be a stage victory in a GC battle on today's stage 17. So we come into the next towns. It gets all crazy back there. You see the Pelotons having all kinds of explosions. And if I back you up to the Peloton going over that first KOM, I'll show you that Lidl Trek we're dropping off the back with Mads Pedersen, with Soren Krajanissen and Gabriel Xavier up there. So if these guys are dropping off at 72 kilometers to go, you know the pace got to be wicked fast up there. Okay, we come through this first little village. We exit that one. We come into the next village. This is just over 55 kilometers ago. I'll call it about 55-ish, thereabouts. And again, it's single file going through the village, blowing up, bodies all over, Peloton shrinking in size. We come out of that. We're coming in about 45 kilometers ago. We see Egan Bernal at the back. He's calling up his car. Now, if I just got done winning yesterday's stage, I'd hope there's a teammate that could go back there and get me some gels. Egan Bernal's going to go back there, and as he was doing that, we see Q36.5. That's Tom Pidcock. He was going over for a bit of a nature break, and he's got some teammates waiting for him. If you got to go, you got to go. There's no doubt about it. But you got to have some teammates with you, because if it's been blowing up through the last two villages that they've gone through, you do not ever want to go off and do a nature break before you're coming in the village when you go single file line, because if you have big groups blowing off the back like 20 and 25 riders and the Peloton's been split in half multiple times. Guys, it was split after Sepp's bike change. It was split coming through each one of the villages. And so when you're taking this nature break, you got to do it fast and you got to get back on. So Q36.5 got some members there with Tom Pidcock. Then we're going to see Jay Vine. Jay Vine's got to do a nature break too while wearing the KOM jersey. And we're getting close. We're about 39 kilometers to go. And at 36, they got a right turn that'll take you off this main road here, which has been quite wide. Most of this race has been kind of narrow, but they did widen out on this highway. But they're going to do a right turn when we see the breakaway of 12 riders make the right. Now it starts climbing back up. So as the breakaway starts climbing back up, we've seen a little bit of action and some attacks from these guys, but it gets brought back. Then we go back down and look at the Peloton as they're making this right turn off the main road when it comes onto the narrow, tricky section here at stage 17. Well, Jay Vine's going to find himself at the back of the group there, and he's going to pass these guys, start making himself up to the front. He'll get back up to the front, no problem. Okay, we go into about 25 kilometers to go. This is getting interesting. Now we're going through a big town. This isn't quite a village. The other ones were little villages. This is a big one. So single file, explosions, bodies going all over the place, and they're getting ready to exit it. And we see Cepeda from Movistar. Jefferson Cepeda has been in a lot of these breakaways, and we see him coming off the back as groups after groups haven't been able to make it back on after left turns and right turns through the village. But you look at Cepeda, and as we're leaving the village, it's going to start ramping back up, but they're still kind of in the town. And then you see Cepeda, he's flying through all these guys, going to get back onto the back of the group. I don't know if this energy was worth spending if you're Cepeda. You might have just wanted to let off the gas, back it off a little bit, and save it for stage 20, the mountain stage. The last time you could probably get a breakaway stage, but maybe something might happen on stage 18. So I'd have saved it. But Cepeda was putting in a big effort right here from Movistar. He gets back on the back. We go up to the group there. As we're coming in about 20 kilometers to go, just after Cepeda latching on the back of the Peloton, the break up there starts blowing up. Tiberi's going up the road. He was one of the more pure climbers. We saw him yesterday blowing up the Peloton, so he must think he still has some kind of legs like he had yesterday. He's throwing an attack. I don't like this move either. You don't have enough time. The gap's down to about 1 minute 20, 1 minute 30 tops at the most at this moment, if not closer to a minute. And Tiberi's throwing an attack. He gets a little bit of company with Tejada that joins him up there. Again, I don't like this move. Peloton back there is going big time 8. Wilco Kelderman and Dylan Van Barley off the front now. And it's going curb to curb. We're talking about Premier Tech, Bahrain Victorious, Bora, AG2R, UAE Team Emirates is at the front. Jonas Vingegaard is about 6th position, 6th row. He's behind the 5 teams at the front right now, and he's behind there. But remember, he's only got 3 teammates left now because he decided to try to go for the stage victory here. That's used up Wilco Kelderman, and it's used up Dylan Van Barley. That could be a crucial member right now with 20 kilometers to go when they're going up this bump out of that village that's going to have a small descent, and all craziness is going to start happening soon. So I didn't like going for the stage victory here and trying to put time on Almeida. If you can get time on Almeida, fantastic. But the stage victory might be asking a bit much when you're down to 6-rider team right now. Now you've blown up 2 and you're sitting 6th row back there behind 4 or 5 teams in front of you that are all battling for the general classification. Now we go up and we still look at the 2 riders up front there. Tiberi and Tejada are still driving it. They're coming into the left bend with the breakaway guys hot behind them coming in that left bend with about 17 kilometers to go. The Peloton comes through that left bend. We don't get to see that, but we see shortly thereafter that Bora Hansgrohe's got control of the front of the Peloton. Nico Denz is coming up the right side. Jai Hindley's on the left side, and you certainly want to be at the front once we get in under 17 kilometers to go. They'll come through this crazy village, crazy small. Take a look at the breakaway riders as they're coming through and they're going past that old bridge right there. Then we get the back view of that old bridge and the left turn that comes up through the town just in front of the bridge up there. Well, the breakaway guys come through there and then they got the switchback that leaves that town. So you know for the Peloton with Bora Hansgrohe driving it, you want to be near the front. At this moment, the Peloton's still about 70 riders strong. Bora Hansgrohe's got control of the front with Nico Denz. They're doing a fine job of drilling it, and they'll come out through the switchbacks, and you see the Peloton down to about 70 guys when they hit this first switchback. This is not the start of the climb. This is like 16 kilometers to go, maybe 15. They'll go up this switchback. They'll come into the next town. Now the next town is something special. I'm going to show you a picture of the breakaway going through this narrow passageway here that I was telling you before that I don't know how the cars are going to get through there. We'll see the mirror with the motorcycle giving us the shot there and the mirror in the picture. It's tight and narrow for the break. What's the Peloton look like? Well, when the Peloton gets through here, Bora Hansgrohe's still on the front. They're going through it fine. Everything's single file out because Nico Denz is putting on a show right now, guys. This is when the big guys love to shine, where it has a little bit of climbing up, a little bit of dip, some flat sections where it curves and winds its way. It splits through the narrow villages. It splits through the hard lefts. It's got a climb, but it's a short, steep little climb. You exit, you drop back into the next town. Big guys love this because this is the way they make the little guys like myself pay. They're up there right now smiling, grinning ear to ear. He knows he's got Jai Hindley, Pelizzari, Giovanni is back there. So he knows he's got backup guys. And when they leave that second village, now they're coming along this river road that has rock siding on the right side. It's super narrow. And you know Nico Denz with the power he's got along with Tim Van Dyke. They're drilling it. I mean, they're putting on a show. They've already wrapped up most of the breakaway riders. And now the only guy that's left up there is Sergio Samitier because he and Hess Limrace end up catching the 2 original breakaway guys that were throwing in the attacks, Tejada and Tiberi. So now Sergio Samitier from Cofidis is trying to get the most combative jersey I'd imagine. But behind, Bora Hansgrohe is going to start to wrap him up. First, we're going to see the big casualty, though, from UAE Team Emirates. It's Ayuso dropping out with 12 kilometers to go. As Ayuso's dropping out, guys, I never saw him touch the front. He's dropping out. We haven't even started the last climb proper. So we go up front. We see Sergio Samitier is getting wrapped up. Once we see Sergio Samitier getting wrapped up, Bora Hansgrohe's 2 flatter guys, talking Nico Denz and Tim Van Dyke, have blown off the front. It's time for Giovanni Aliotte to get on the front. Aliotte's drilling it with 11.5 kilometers to go. they're going to start exiting this road and it starts climbing up. Now, it's not the beginning of the climb still, even though this is wicked steep. We're talking 10% sections, and the group's down to 25 rider guys, even smaller. We look at the back, AG2R suffering back there. That's Felix Gall. Felix Gall sitting 6th on the general classification. The AG2R rider's lucky. He's got some help there. He's got one teammate. That's Leo Bisio there. That's on the front. Leo's doing a fantastic job of helping Felix Gall get himself back up to this front group as Giovanni was drilling it. Now, Giovanni's going to do a fantastic job. He'll blow about a kilometer later. Felix Gall has found his way back on, and then with Pelizzari on the front, Pelizzari's going to take over, and we still have one little plateau to get up to that's going to come up at about 10.5 kilometers to go. So Felix Gall's going to come off again, and Leo's going to do a fantastic job of keeping Felix Gall close. We go up in front and look at who's taking over the front of the peloton now, though. It's Ben Toulet. Ben Toulet and Jorgensen are throwing down. UAE team members. Bora Hansgrohe directly latched on the wheel of Jorgensen, then UAE team members, and Sepp Kuss and Jonas Vingegaard are behind them. I don't like being this far back. If my teammates are on the front and it's been this technical and I'm Visma-Lease bikes Jonas Vingegaard, you can be sure I wanted my teammates Dylan Van Barley and Wilco Kelderman to take me through there. If you used them up one to win the stage, then you could be sure I would have been sitting right behind the Bora Hansgrohe train and not so far back. But Jonas Vingegaard and Sepp Kuss will find their way sooner or later here, a little bit later, going up the climb in the correct position. But right now, we're coming into 9 kilometers to go. Ben Toulet, Jorgensen on the front of the peloton, come around the corner, and they're being waved to slow down. See the official motorcycle there in the red jersey. He's trying to slow them all down coming in this right turn. The two leaders come through the right turn with the GC guys all wrapped around their back wheels. And as they come around, we got 4 motorcycles. 3 look like they're entangled. 1 has hit the ground, so you know this road is incredibly technical. With the green motorcycle crash, the police motorcycles are trying to pull them out as Visma-Lease bikes leading through the GC train on the right side. Felix Gall now back there. He's been swinging back there when we're coming down the false little descent where Jorgensen and Ben Toulet have been driving it until we come into just about 8.8 kilometers ago. Now, this is the official start of the climb, if you believe me. This is how they rated it. So we look up front. Ben Toulet still on the front. Jorgensen are still on the front. Now we go back and look at Felix Gall. We start seeing Felix Gall and Leo back there trying to get themselves back on, and we're looking at Jay Vine as he's looking back. We go up a little bit further. Felix Gall's passing Jay Vine as he's getting dropped. So now Gall is getting up there to pass through guys that are coming off the back that are UAE team members. He's going to have some more company that he's got to pass because the next rider's Groschartner. As he's passing Groschartner, Eddie Dunbar was on his wheel and he came off. And now Felix Gall has found his way onto the back of the group. We're talking about 7 kilometers to go. We go into that. Now we got to look up at this picture of the Death Black Mountain because they had fires up here. When we come back down, we see Felix Gall's getting dropped and Jorgensen's getting dropped. We go up to the front of the peloton. We look at Ben. Ben Toulet is still driving it. He's down to 9 riders. Jai Hindley's there. Tom Pidcock's there. Jonas is there. Almeida's there. Riccatello's there. Sepp Kuss, the American, is still there. Pelizzari's there. Torsten Trey-In is in the move. But now we see the first big attack from the GC guys. It's Jai Hindley. Jai Hindley throws in a huge attack. We look just behind Jai Hindley. We see that it's Tom Pidcock covering the move. And then Ben Toulet's going to slot in because Jonas Vingegaard had left a little bit of gap. Looked like he was having some problems. So Ben Toulet closes it up. We got 4 riders in the front. 1 rider back there bridging. That's Riccatello. Riccatello's trying to get himself into the white youth jersey here, and he's got Pelizzari that's been dropped with Almeida. When that mixture in the back finally comes together, we see it's Almeida, Pelizzari, Sepp Kuss, Torsten Trey-In's back there. But Almeida's going into diesel mode. So 5 up front, 4 in the back, 9 riders total. Almeida's throwing down on the front. Sepp Kuss, the American rider from Visma-Lease bike, pops. Jorgensen's been off. Sepp Kuss is getting dropped now. Almeida's drilling it. The next rider to come off is Torsten Trey-In from Bahrain Victorious. He comes off. Pelizzari stays locked on to Almeida's wheel. And Almeida finds that diesel engine again to close up to the riders up front that have become 4 because Ben Toulet blew up there. So once Ben Toulet blew, he goes back and he starts trying to set some tempo for Sepp Kuss as best as he can. But now we go up front. We got 6 riders total. With 6 riders up here and Bora Hansgrohe having 2. Jai Hindley and Pelizzari back there in the white race leader's jersey. For youth, we see Pelizzari is going to start riding the front. But that's not going to be for too long because we're going to see the next attack come from Tom Pidcock. Tom Pidcock throws in his attack, and it's 14% sections right now hitting on the switchbacks. He gets brought back as Almeida got dropped a little bit, but then started to close the gap again to keep us 6 riders in front. Next rider to throw in attack is going to be Pelizzari. As Pelizzari's throwing in this attack at about 4.8 kilometers to go, he went up the right side. Let's take a look at the group of 5 just behind. Riccatello got a little bit blocked on the left side, so couldn't follow the white jersey there, Pelizzari, but found his way out and closes the gap to keep us with 6 riders in the front. The next attack's going to come from Jai Hindley as he throws in the attack, and Jonas Vingegaard is all over it to close it back up. Now they're playing a little bit of cat and mouse. Jonas Vingegaard still not throwing in his attack, even though he rode all day long. His teammates on the front, he's still following wheels. Almeida's back there still following wheels too. He hasn't thrown in attack because the next attack we're going to see is from Pelizzari. Pelizzari throws in this attack, and he starts getting the gap on everyone. This is 3.5 kilometers to go. Riccatello's back there is going to throw in an attack to try to bring back Pelizzari, but it's Tom Pidcock that's on his wheel that closes up, so we still got 5 guys and Pelizzari gaining some time. We look behind these 5 riders that are chasing the one up front. Sepp Kuss is back there. Torsten Treyen's back there. Felix Gall has still back there fighting. He's doing more than 5 minutes of hard work right here. I'll tell you that. That's no doubt about it. We go up front. We're going to see another attack from Riccatello. As Riccatello throws his second attack, it's Jai Hindley that covers it. Then Jai Hindley's going to softly roll on the front because he knows his teammate Pelizzari is going up the road with a shot at winning stage 17 here, the Volta a España. Behind, Riccatello's got another attack in his legs, though. He throws in the next attack, and we see it's Tom Pidcock again that closes up to Riccatello. Now Riccatello's got to stay some steady work on the pedals up front because he knows there's a group chasing behind with Sepp Kuss, Felix Gall, that's a little bit higher than him on general classification, 5th versus 6th, but Pelizzari's going up the road in the race leader's white jersey, and he's got about a 30-second gap, so Riccatello's doing what he can. We go under 1 kilometer to go. Pelizzari's still holding that 30-second gap. He comes into the final few hundred meters. He knows he's going to win today's stage, sits up and celebrates his first professional victory here at the professional Peloton. We look behind. Tom Pidcock's hitting out with 200 meters. No one can follow the British rider as he's getting the gap on Jai Hindley and Jonas Vingegaard with Almeida just behind him and Riccatello trying to bring up the rear. Well, Tom Pidcock drills it all the way in the line. He'll lose about 20-25 seconds up there, but he'll gain 10 seconds. When we look further back, it's Jai Hindley finishing 3rd to 2nd place there, Tom Pidcock. Jonas Vingegaard did everything he could, but actually lost a little bit of time to Tom Pidcock. And then he crosses the line 4th. Almeida's 2 seconds behind Jonas Vingegaard. So both 1st and 2nd on the general classification. They were not the highlight on today's stage. It's going to be Riccatello coming back, crossing the line just behind Almeida. That was really one of the big highlights, along with Pelizzari. It's the 2 youth kids here that lit this race up on stage 17. So like and subscribe, guys, because tomorrow's the individual time trial. And what do we know at this moment after stage 17? After stage 17, I think it's 100% clear that Jonas Vingegaard does not have 2024 or 2023 fitness. If he did, he would not have been in a break with 5 guys, and he's not pulling that break. He's sitting on that break and still cannot attack those guys. We're talking about Riccatello, Almeida, Torsten Treyen was there. We're talking about, okay, Torsten Treyen got dropped, but he was still there for most of this climb. But then we're talking about Tom Pidcock and Jai Hindley there, and Jonas Vingegaard couldn't attack these guys after sitting on them the whole way up this climb. That tells me 100% that Jonas Vingegaard does not have 2024 form or 2023 form when we're talking about that 2-time Tour de France champion-like form of 22 and 23 seasons. So we know right now, going in the individual time trial, with only a 2 seconds gained on Almeida on today's stage, 50 seconds, Almeida back on 2nd place, it's going to be a big battle here for the individual time trial to see who can come out of this in the race leader's red jersey when it's said and done tomorrow. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys for stage 18 real soon.